mind when the time sets the sun to the moon. I just don't wanna be lonely.
NomaCollective.com is the website. Check it out. Looks super awesome. They got destinations around the world: Argentina, Bali, Belize, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Kenya, Morocco, Panama, Portugal, where you can live and work with other dads and tropical paradises, basically. And you guys are in one right now. Jack and Daniel.
How's it going, man?
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Thanks for hitting me up to do this. I checked out your looks really, really cool. So yeah, go ahead and introduce us to Noma Collective and you guys' mission and it's all about.
This started in January of this year. We had our first kind of founder crew in February. Obviously, during the pandemic, just looking at other things to do. I'm normally a music festival promoter. That's what I do by day, like nightclubs and festivals. Obviously, during the COVID pandemic, that pretty much disappeared as a profession. So myself and Daniel have spent probably about 6 years like talking about opening a hotel. We've been to a few places in Uruguay, Argentina to look at some spots. Something was on the back burner, but then during the pandemic, Dan was working with someone who had a property out here in Belize, who invited him out to, actually it was just before the pandemic, invited him out to come and start working on the hotel. And then obviously the hotel closed down. Dan was in Belize for 6 months. Well, no one else was in a lockdown situation. And then, we wanted to help get the hotel reopen, and we kind of thought about who wanted to go to Belize, and it was going to be long stay. This is, as I say, it's February of this year, so it was air travel was pretty tricky. But if you're going to come somewhere, you had to quarantine. You got to stay for a while. So the whole digital nomad kind of culture of traveling made a lot of sense. It also fit in with a lot of people I knew in the UK who were sat around at home, no longer really working. Some people on furlough, some people not. Same in the US, and we thought let's bring people out. Let's do extended stays. Let's kind of rebuild a community. Obviously, everyone has spent a year or so inside, not really meeting a single new person, not making a new friend, not making a new connection, very isolated. And if there was, everyone now had a remote job effectively, because even no matter what you did, you've been working from home. So while things were still working themselves out, why not come to a nice beautiful place and meet some new people, and kind of rebuild community and rebuild kind of getting to know people and being social more than anything. So that was the idea behind it. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
So I mean, as Jack was saying, it's kind of born out of COVID, and it was, we had an idea. We were pretty sure that it was something that we wanted to do, but we had to give it a go. So we thought long stay because of problems with travel and maximum community possible within like a hotel, while kind of COVID was still raging. And so we tried it out. Thankfully, like we got the opportunity to work with Umaya, which is a hotel here in Placencia, and it was closed like pretty much every hotel. And they gave us, like a platform to try it out. So we did 8 months there. We had like 400 nomads come through, and that. It was crazy, man. We had people like extend pretty much like every single time. We had like 60% extensions.
We've had people here for 3 months. Like, we had some people like actually start living here. Pretty solidly.
What did we say? We've had like 1 marriage, 2 babies on the way, not yet born.
Load of relationships have come out.
Many more
there.
created.
Some really amazing business kind of ventures have started out the back of it. A lot of friendships. Like one of the biggest things that we've really enjoyed.
Shit. Lost them. Hello, hello. Oh, damn.
No, still there. All good.
Yo, all right,
yeah.
you're back.
Yeah. Where did you get me up to? Or we're still in the same?
Like a minute, like back up like 30 seconds or a minute.
So yeah, just basically just saying that, you know, we had
we were talking about babies being made.
Yeah, we had some babies being born, a lot of relationships, a lot of friendships, a lot of like collaborative work, you know, like potential situations for people. And yeah, more than anything, we found that, you know, people hadn't had a chance to meet new people at all for a long time. Also, lots of people from, you know, different places, different types of people, especially because people were stuck in their own town for quite a period of time. You know, people were quite jaded after COVID. You've been, you know, you'd gone from being, you know, man about town in New York to being stuck in a one bed flat. You know, without the restaurants and the bars and the nightclubs.
The
Suddenly,
social life just dead.
Cold New York or cold London was no longer, you know, in December. And like, you know, in London you weren't allowed to go home for Christmas, so people were very isolated. So it was really nice to bring that back in and also bring people on the journey of like finding out they could remote work. And as I kind of said, people, you know, we see our nomads now all around the world. They still tag us, and they're all still together in Portugal or Greece or whatever, traveling with people that they met here. So, you know, it's a really powerful thing to kind of, you know, be able to put people in a situation. I mean, normally for me, like, so I come from a music festival background. So, you know, a music festival might be 3 days or 4 days long, and you put everyone together and they all meet each other and make friends. But there's something really, really strong about having, you know, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months of being around new people. It really does cement like solid lifelong friendships. So yeah, we definitely found that it was something that was people were looking for. So it was working in terms of number of guests we're getting, and B, also you know, needed for people after such a period of time indoors.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
It's a really interesting kind of potential, you know, really positive outcome from COVID. You know, the opportunity for people to really truly work remote, and I think that's kind of where we come in. Like we found that like maybe up to 70% of the people had never ever done this before, so this is their first time, like a stepping stone almost. So that was pretty awesome to see people flourish and come in and kind of maybe come in with views that perhaps, you know, needed to be adjusted, like, you know, by the community. Is something that happens naturally. It's like or thought processes that needed to be changed, or maybe just jumps they needed to make in their life. You know, 3 or 4 times people are like, I'm selling my car, I'm letting go of my apartment, like I'm doing this, or I'm going to learn a new language, or I need to change my job because it's not making me happy. Like, you know, the thing I want to do.
Which I just saw on Instagram like 2 seconds ago. Someone who came here a little while ago. Shout out to DC. He was literally like, "I've just sold my house. That's it. I now know. I don't need it. I'm living remotely. I'm throwing myself in." So just letting people find that this is a possibility. But also more than anything, like by coming to a place like this, you know, like jump on a plane, go to Bali, try and be a nomad probably sounds a lot more daunting than jump on a plane, come to Bali with 30 other people going through the same situation as you, come all there on you know, around the same time, and know everyone's going to be open to meeting new people. It's not like you're just going to turn up on your own in Bali and try and make friends. You're going to be with a bunch of other people going through the same situation. I think really lets people kind of be like, oh, you know what, this is possible. It seems scary, but because I know that other people are going to be in the same situation as me, I'm up for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Comfort of
I tell people this. I say this all the time on my podcast, because I tell people, so I got started at a conference, and so I say, like, let that be your excuse to bounce abroad, to do some time abroad, even if it's a fucking weekend or a week, or, you know, ideally 3 weeks or more, a month, or, you know, multiple months. But like, it was met 100 other people in the same boat, doing the same shit, e-commerce stuff, and it was just like boom, immediately you're connected to the community. So like conferences or this type of thing, a group work remote, freaking live, work, play type of thing. It's absolutely better than a conference, actually, probably, because you'll probably make more friends because it's not just like a 1 or 2 day thing. You're like becoming really good friends, like with these people, like friends for life. And so yeah, it's the best way to kick off your journey for show, guys. So like what does it look like? Is there like planned, like every weekend you guys go on an excursion and there's like workshops like every day or every week? So like what are the like details?
So like, I mean, basically, so we do an excursion every weekend. It's not mandatory. You don't have to do it. You know, it's a paid extra. It obviously makes sense, you know, if you just come, like, do an excursion because it's the quickest way of meeting a few people. Go up a mountain with someone, and then you know what, you're going to probably be mates. It's a simple thing. Go on a catamaran to a remote island with a you know, a case of beers, and you'll find out you're probably going to get along quite well with people. Then we have like yoga three times a week. Like as a nomad, if a nomad wants to contribute, either like, so for the nomads can contribute either kind of to workshops, which you do 1 a week, and that's if you feel like you've got something you want to share. You know, you want to talk about crypto, or you want to talk about. We've had some ones on consent. We've had some on grieving for the death of a relative. We've had some ones on, you know, we had a twerk shop. We had a, you know, I can teach everyone to twerk. You know, so again, like, not everyone needs to come to every workshop, but also once someone's been here for a week or two and made a few friends, and they want to do a workshop because it kind of excites them, it's less nervous. And then also, if some of the people are more into fitness or something, there's opportunities to teach fitness classes or just get people involved that way. So that it kind of, there's a structure to it, but then there's also kind of, it relies on the community to also push through what they want to do. So it's not prescriptive, like we have a laid out situation of stuff that you have to do. It's more, there's a couple of things you can pick from. There's stuff we do on the weekends that you can choose to go to if you feel that's a trip you want to do. But then also, if you've met a bunch of people here, and you know they want to all go snorkeling on a Tuesday, then you know that's open to them as well. We can help arrange it, or they can just go down to the local town and you know, talk to a tour operator down there and arrange that themselves. So we're kind of like, it's not a nothing's prescriptive. You can just come here and sit in your room as well. If you just wanted to get away from people and write some music or concentrate on yourself, but you just want to know there's people around, but you know you might be a bit socially exhausted from you know hanging out too much with the same people. You can also just come here and be a bit more of a recluse, and that's also available. So it's kind of like, you know, it's as much or as little as you want to get out of it, and you can engage as much with us and our own program, but also if you want to just know you're going to be somewhere safe and around some cool people, but you want to spend your time doing your own thing, or you know you meet a couple of people here and you want to hang out, or you meet someone you really like and you want to go down the coast on a romantic holiday, then that's also available. It's not a day by day, and you don't. Because stuff like the trips and stuff aren't paid for in advance, the family dinners and stuff aren't forced on you. It's very much up to you to take at your own speed and your own pace. So it's not we kind of we'll try to hold your hand through the situation a little bit, but at the same time you don't need that. You can make your own version of the journey. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Plenty of shit to do. You know, as you like. Dope. So what is the what does the package look like? Is it just someone comes and pays for like the location? Are there different like tier levels for like different budgets? And then obviously you guys probably have like a program fee. Is that like as many months as you want to stay, or is it like in week chunks, or how does that work with the packages?
So like we thought long and hard about this actually. It's like, you know, what's considered a nomad? Like what makes you different from like a traditional like, you know, holiday traveler or like vacationer? And so it's like 3 weeks is probably like the minimum. So our booking platform is like based around like a 3 week minimum. Only people extend a little bit longer, but that kind of gives you enough time for the community. It lets you know, like, you know, get to know the area, all that type of stuff. So 3 week minimum, we will package together the activities and like the hotel stay. So we'll partner with the hotel and we'll kind of offer it all as one. So we'll try and make sure that they have all of that sorted. And then yeah, as Jack said, you can kind of add on with activities. You know, the only thing really that we say to everyone we want you to come is for the family dinner. because that's a good time to, it's middle of the week, gets you to meet everyone. People who've come in early, who have missed the previous weekend, can kind of catch up with everyone, and perhaps meet new people as well.
And we do have, so kind of one thing, so we were originally called a Maya Village because we were based around one hotel. We were launching the concept, and now we're Noma Collective. And one of the big things about becoming Noma Collective is, one, building it out from the hotel we're in into more trips. So we're now looking at the basic idea of being much more like an in date and an out date. So we go to we'll go to Argentina for a month, and you start on the 1st, you leave on the 31st. So everyone comes in on the same day, everyone leaves on the same day. So you don't have social exhaustion when you came here halfway through a cool crew, you make a bunch of mates and they leave to Mexico, but you have to stay another 2 more weeks because it's a minimum 3-week stay. So we have that model, which is come anytime, leave anytime, and now we have the trips model. But the trips are also going to work. So if you can come on a trip and when it ends on the 31st, there's a new trip beginning on the 1st. So if you're still enjoying the journey, you're still enjoying the concept, but you want to go from Bali to Morocco or from Morocco to Kenya on the next one, then you can kind of travel. Okay, cool, I'll do 3 trips of them. Like, I know not everyone will stay on the same trip. I know the new trip will all be back to day one, but it means you can pop into a few locations and I guess just, get a kind of taste for the area, knowing you've got good Wi-Fi, which is the most important thing. That's one of the most important things we arrange and really work on, is to know that Wi-Fi is going to work. So worst case scenario, you're not going to fuck up shit with your company, or your boss isn't going to, be pissed off. But also, worst case scenario, if you don't enjoy the area, you'll probably enjoy the people who are around here. And also, going out on a trip by yourself versus going out on a trip with 30 people, it's going to be, it's a very different experience. So yeah, those are the 2 key ideas: the come anytime, leave anytime model, and now the trips model, which we're working into. And we're working towards the idea of opening our own hotels, basically, that built purely for nomads, in a few locations.
Nice. What are the percentage of people would you say that are remote employees?
So we've really that's the one of the thing. We have had entrepreneurs, but they probably account for somewhere between 30% of the people. A lot of the people now are remote employees. A lot of offices have shut down. A lot of people have X amount of remote months a year on their contract. A lot of people are now telling their boss they want to work remote. It makes sense. If you've got a big office in central London, you can save a couple $100,000 a year by not maintaining that, and actually just telling your employees. The great thing is now everyone's done a year and a bit working from home. There's no reason why you could be like, well, did I do a good job? Yes or no? So if no, then what's the problem? But if yes, you did a good job, then why do I need to be living in a shitty flat in New York City, where it's expensive rent, bad quality air, bad quality of life in terms of fitness, traveling everywhere, being far away from friends and stuff, when I can just be somewhere where everything's on my doorstep and there's actual wildlife, and we got hummingbirds flying around here all the time. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Actually life, and you're actually getting sun, which your body needs.
Yeah.
Fully healthy.
Indeed, man.
Doing all these work-life balance, which that's what everyone fucking wants. Yeah, it's perfect situation. If there's any positives from COVID, it's your 1-year test of working remote from home has just been done. So bada bing, bada boom. Now it's unlocked, and so many people can work remote. So that's a hidden blessing in disguise. That's fucking so happy for so many corporate job people. Us entrepreneurs say. But yeah, dude, that's fucking sick. Okay, 70%. Most people are remote workers. So you heard it there, guys.
We're very much finding that for a lot of people, we're the first tries, and that's kind of some of our marketing is very geared like that. It's you could do this. Why aren't you? Not so much just fucking start an Amazon company and travel the world. It's more so just take your job, come here.
Yeah, exactly.
And also because everyone else, if you work for Salesforce or Pipedrive or Google, all of which you've had employees who've come out here, at FFX studios, or you're a therapist and you're traveling around, you'd worry just jumping on a plane and going to a hotel somewhere or going to a hostel, because you'd be like, I might get there and everyone's going to be having a party, or everyone's going to be on a very different vibe to me because I've got a 9 to 5. So I need to know that when I need to work, everyone's also going to be on the same kind of vibe. And that's a really good thing about, and we ask you if you have a remote job. And when we ask you, that's one thing. So you can't just book. You have to arrange a call with one of our salespeople. They have to have a chat, see what you like, see what your interests are. And also make sure that you've got something that, you're not just be like, I've got no job, I should come party in BELIZE for a month. Because it's I mean, unless you're going to write an album or, you know, write a book or do something at that time or try and change your industry, we can't really have people who are looking to, you know, get drunk in the pool on a Monday afternoon, because at the same time, it's also about providing a safe workspace for people to prove, just to keep proving that you don't need to be in the city, you don't need to be in the job, you can be remote now. So that's also a very important part of that.
Yeah, exactly. Sick. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, you gotta apply, guys, and this is the website, noma-collective.com. Check out their Instagram too as well. Awesome, cool, dope. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. So what's on the horizon? What's the next destination? When does it start?
So Argentina, that's a big one for me. I lived there for many years. That. Oh, we lost you.
Oh, I'm back.
There we go. Yeah. So for me, like my favorite ones, the ones I'm looking forward to the most, are the two in Africa. We got Morocco and Kenya. Those ones are big ones for me. I think they're destinations that maybe people wouldn't be thinking about before, just like Belize. It's kind of off the map. And then the other one is Argentina. Like I lived in Argentina for a long time, and that's like almost like got 2 or 3 destinations inside of it. But we're going to do a ski season, which is like Northern Hemisphere summer. So you can go to Bariloche and go skiing in like September or like August. It's like it's the opposite to the Northern Hemisphere. And then we're going to do the high season, which is like November, December.
Also, the US dollar is very strong in Argentina, so there's you know, good reason to visit there. You know, and again, like being able to,
it's got mad culture as well. The place is insane. I mean, like, you know, it's a prime example of like a location that a lot of these nomads are like, hold tight, like we can go to like Argentina, and I'm really passionate about it because it's a beautiful place, but like it is like, I mean, it's got all the bits, like good internet, like relatively cheap, like lots of places to go, like, you know,
good food,
great food, beautiful people, men and women.
Great nightlife.
Great nightlife. Yeah. I mean, like the Latin culture, but like, you know, they've got a strong music scene there as well. So that's kind of one where the city will take hold and most definitely provide. But
also with something like that, like one thing we'll definitely offer is like an add-on to learn Spanish. You know, a bunch of other people at the same level as you. So again, like just try and turn up in Argentina, not knowing any Spanish, but you'll be around people who can speak Spanish. So again, it's like you don't have to worry. You want to go out for an evening, there are Spanish speakers who are part of the team, and there's also, you know, there will be naturally some nomads who will be Spanish speakers, but at the same time you can come and you might make 5 new friends just because you came in on the Spanish course. You're like, okay, I want the extra of learning Spanish in Argentina. And then again, it's just building another skill into your repertoire and making you more adept to see more parts of the world. Because that's also a big thing. That was one thing about starting in Belize. It was great. Good. Yeah, Belize is English speaking. It's the only Central American country that is English speaking. That's a native language here. So it's been nice to, you know, get it. Easy, you wouldn't think it, but it eases people in. You're like, oh, I can go there and they speak English. It's already like it breaks down a barrier for people who haven't had the chance to go to a foreign speaking country before. And now then to offer, come to a foreign country and learn, you know, the native language is also like a really nice thing to add in.
And then, I mean, Africa, obviously, for many reasons, like Morocco is Essaouira, I think is, if I pronounced it right, it's on the coast there. Surfing town, like you staying in like a sweet riad, you know, like really Morocco is an insane bit. And also like these locations weren't just picked out of the sky. These are all places that the team, either like us 2 other people, have either gone, lived in, or have like connections through the festival industry. Because both of us, like we worked together for 12 years and Jack's done festivals like in Croatia and in the UK and Iceland. I mean, there's like, I'm sure I'm missing some, but there's quite a few. And so like Andorra, like, so those contacts kind of like when we decided, right, let's branch out. It's like, what does that look like? You know, you need someone solid on the ground because you're going to need to provide and also provide that unique experience. So Kenya, I have my friend, shout out to Diane. She's there. She's been there throughout the whole of COVID. She lives in a place called Watamu, which is 100k north of Mombasa on the coast. And I mean, you can do safari and stuff like that, but it's very similar to Belize, blue water, crazy vibes. That's the photo right there.
Nice,
But and
I mean, very also cost effective. If you're coming with a New York salary, living in Kenya, you're living like a king, basically.
Oh yeah.
So
we're doing some safaris,
it's a very good point to also mention that, like, so one really key thing as well about what we're doing. So in Belize, we work with local Garifuna community. Shout out to Kerwin and everyone down in Same Bite. So that's the local town. You know, they're very much living like, you know, shacks on the beach, kind of old school life there. And we as a company work with the local community center. We do some art classes. We provide some tuition. We provide some mentorship. And as a nomad, and we also do the beach clean and stuff like that. So also as a nomad, when you come to the area, you can also, if you want to, you could even donate if you don't have time because you're working too hard. We don't, you know, whatever you feel. But you know, there is the option to go and teach at the local school, meet the local kids, give back to the local community. We've had people who are visual effects designers, and they have a little green screen down in the community. Well, they have a green curtain down in the community center. So they've come down and talked about, we had a guy who worked on the Lion King. So he came down and he spoke about his experiences working the Lion King to the local kids and talked to them about how they could get into VFX design. And, you know, we'll ask people that, you know, if you're coming to Belize, for example, like it's very hard to get laptops and desktops. So if someone's got an old phone or an old desktop, like why not bring that with you and just donate it to the local school? So it's not just about going to a beautiful place and you know taking. It's also about what can you do to provide something for them. And in all honesty, like the local village in Same Bite have said that we've changed their idea of what a tourist is, because they're like, tourists have been coming to this part of Belize for ages, but they've never come to speak to us, ever. I'm halfway through building a website for the local people. We've been cataloging every shop they have, every street trader, what they sell, meeting them, getting their phone number, if they do it on their Facebook, getting them their address and stuff. And, you know, just trying to make it that, like, you know, everyone wants to do this traveling thing. And there's also quite a bit of guilt about it. You don't want to fly around the world, like, taking, you know, I think it's really important for all of us to give a bit back. So we, not in a, and it's not in a kind of like, we're not saying take photos, and, you know, we're minimal on the amount that we promote that as part of what we're doing. It's just because it makes sense. It's a sensible thing to do. You want to come somewhere beautiful, you want to live here for a bit, you know, if you have time and if you're so inclined, you can also give something back, you know. So that's very much important to us as like an ethos of, not just an ethos because it makes sense, not an ethos for clout on Instagram or kind of like, you know, talking to someone at a party and trying to make a big deal out of it. It's just, it's a very nice thing. And all the locations we're already setting up, be it conservation or be it, you know, mostly community, because we are a community. So if we can do some kind of like matching up the community there to just skill share. You know, we had like in Belize, like there's a very, you know, very strong music scene, and we've had a few producers come out and they give production lessons, and we also had some people from Universal. Big up Haley, and she came out. She talked to them about releasing music and how to copyright their music and how to get themselves on Spotify and, you know, get themselves on you know, SoundCloud, and how to promote themselves and how to reach out to major labels. And I mean, I don't know if this is by the by, but one of the kids in Same Bite has been signed to Universal recently. I don't know if you've seen that. Stig the Artist got signed the other day, which I'm not saying is like anything to put across, but I think just giving people the understanding that, you know, it's not everything. Just like we're finding out anything's possible. Also, people in these local communities can also find out anything's possible. It's sharing that experience with people to help everyone kind of, you know, find a way to, you know, better themselves and better the situation they're in.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah, holy shit. Oh yeah, you're getting me excited. You're getting me tempted right here. All these destinations, it's just like the whole Latin American world is like this whole universe that I haven't even dived into yet. I've been based in Asia 7 years. But and I speak like pretty good Spanish, so I'm just like, oh my god, all this stuff is getting me pumped up.
Argentina, mate. I see you in Argentina, Guatemala, Costa Rica. We've got a few there in Latin America, mate. You should come along. Pick me up, mate.
My buddy was just there. He's just in Buenos Aires telling me about it. I've had friends go, fucking, as you know, as a nomad for many years, you have friends just fucking everywhere. So you know about all these places. It's like, that's the thing about being like a digital nomad, is like almost overwhelming to think about there's so many possibilities because the world is unlocked. It's like now there's too many options. It's like overwhelmed now. It's like you're just thinking about, oh, I could be anywhere. What if I was here? What if I was there? There's I'm missing out on this. All these things. But good
You
problem.
go from not being able to leave anywhere, like not being able to leave your hometown, to realize you can go anywhere. It's like,
Yeah,
I mean, to
exactly.
be honest with me, like I did music festivals. I do them in foreign countries, and I'd be there for 2 weeks, but in a field, or a month, like setting up sound system and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was very trapped in London. I was trapped in the music scene in London. I couldn't escape. I couldn't. If I go away for too long, then I'm going to lose the kind of situation that I'm in. And it took a lot to get me out. It took 3 lockdowns in the UK for me to be like, okay, fuck it. If I always say I want to leave, I'm never going to leave. If I can go through 3 having to sit in my house for months on end with my entire industry collapsing, then I'm never going to go. So I kind of pushed the boat out to do it. And then you're like, fuck, man, the world is endless, and the abilities to meet new people and meet new cultures is massive, and it's something that is going to enrich everyone's life. And if you can do it in a way that's enriching the place you're going, then it's a win-win situation. It's that mutually beneficial. To me, is one of the best things anything can ever be. It's just something that works for everyone involved.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm even just to be fired up about this kind of co-working living, because I just had my first kind of co-living situation this past weekend. It was a 3-day mini music festival at this beach club here in Phuket, and only about 100 to 200 people, but it's the same people for 3 days, just talking, and that everyone. And then so everyone is all of a sudden best friends. Like, oh, how'd you meet her? Oh yeah, and then all of a sudden just things start happening. Oh, you do this, you do this, you do this, and that was just 3 days. And that was actually my first time ever doing like a 3-day thing. And so this is like a 30-day thing, or more. And so just thinking about the type of magic and things.
Yeah. I think we lost. Oh, he's back. There we go. Yeah, you want to go? Yeah, go.
Oh, I'm just talking over you.
No, you're good, man. You're good. I mean, it's just something that you touched on, how 3 days or 1 day, or 3 weeks. When we first started, it's about creating a platform, right? The people that made that thing you went to, they're like, right, we want to make it a moment where these people can feel comfortable and happy and get that energy that you need where everyone's vibing. So anyway, personally, it started with 6 hours, just a night basically, and then it's a couple days, and then it's a festival, and now it's 3 weeks, and I think it is more leading towards life. I mean, I don't know if you know or if you've seen them, but Yoko Village is the first example I've seen of a real estate nomad-esque community where you can actually buy rather than just staying. So I think what we're witnessing a little bit is the death of the industrial era, and it's the nail in the coffin. And so now these smaller communities of not necessarily like-minded, actually, we've realized that we've had half Biden, half Trump supporters sitting at the table, and they didn't even realize until they're there, and then they realize, oh shit, I've got way more in common with these guys than I thought. And so it's not necessarily about an echo chamber or exactly the same people, but it's about creating, I think, these smaller communities, because cities are causing trouble. You can see how the kind of coming together to make all these beautiful things that we've done, like the internet and all these crazy things like cars and all of that, and now having enough technology to kind of scatter back out and use Argentina is a prime example. That was the 8th largest country in the world, and everyone is in Buenos Aires, and there's just hundreds of thousands of miles of empty land, beautiful empty land that you know what I mean. So
there was a 1 bed that's about the size.
Yeah. And then COVID hits, and you're like, oh crap, this 1 bed really isn't actually the vibe. I mean, and especially in Argentina, I think it's very similar to New York, but in that way,
people just scattering.
Yeah, you're also you're unintentionally or unbeknownst to you just being bribed by all the things, shiny lights around you, all the flashy lights and the restaurants and the money, you know what I mean? And then all that gets taken away, and you're like, wow, man.
It's also quite nice as well, because for the nomads, because people are all meeting each other here, people are go and borrow my flat in London for a month because I'm not coming back, and also people get to go, or people meet someone from London, they get to go to London with someone who lives in London, so they go to London, have an amazing experience. It's not possible for a just a tourist off the plane or a nomad who doesn't know anyone. It's no, I've met someone who lives in London. Now they're saying, come to London with me. Now I go to London with someone who's been there 15 years, and I go to every good bar. I'm not in the center of town in the tourist spot, wandering around, going, what's going on? I'm in the coolest East London bar. I'm in the nicest nightclubs. I'm invited to the after parties, and you go from being a novice at a city to because you made some friends here from around the world, you just go in and really experience that. I think that's also a thing of like people being able to show their cities to the people they've met here as well, which I definitely see a lot of on our Instagram kind of fans. Our Instagram
it's the alumni
fan.
network, you know? It's an alumni network that's not like based on a school you went to or a country you're from or anything like that. That's what it is. And if we can create that, like,
so we run on Slack. So like when you're on site, everything's on Slack. So you can be like, hey, does anyone want to go to the shops? Does anyone want to go and go into town and eat? Does anyone want to go scuba diving? And also after you've left, you go into the alumni Slack channel. So people can be like, hey, we're going to go to Mexico. Who's up for it? And you can not only get to know people you were there with who might be up for it, but also someone from, a month or two later who was there when someone else was there another time. They'd be like, I want to go to Mexico. And you could be like, oh, well, I guess given the fact they were there and I know they know so-and-so, then fuck it. Let's just get this new person to come along on a trip on Mexico or wherever. And that's also nice to be kind of have a connection to a network of people that are semi-validated, I guess, by the fact they've been through the process of being selected. They've been through the 3 or 4 weeks in a cool place. And then you kind of can get to go and not just be with the people you met, but also push into the network of people you didn't.
Heck yeah. It's quite the interesting time we have now. Everyone's like, oh shit, we can scatter out. The world is unlocked for so many people, and after COVID, so many new people now, and there is unlimited beachfront tropical paradises, guys. You can literally, like, every person in the world can have like their own fucking stretch of tropical beach. That's how many fucking tropical beach fronts there are in the world, in this amazing planet that we live on. And yeah, let's fucking experience it. Here we go.
So yeah, man. I mean, like, also one of the things that we realized is that like we can't just have one time zone. That's what we realized. Like, because like Jack is a prime example. He's up at like 5 a.m. because he's got to do calls with England, and then someone who's in Australia like can't do calls to Africa or so on. So the kind of long-term plan for us is to have the 3 main time zones covered. Like have your kind of Americas, your Europe and Africa, and then your Asia. And that way you can kind of, basically travel and work within your time zone if you have your employment or if you're fixed hours.
But we've also had a few people who are parts of like quite large companies, and they've been able to say, hey, like, I'm in the New York time zone at the moment, but I'm going to go to London and put me in Europe time zone. We've got other team who are there. So you've even seen team flipping around and be like, oh, okay, yeah, fine. Actually, we do business in Europe. Oh, we do business in Asia. So you going out there's actually a bonus to us.
What was the company, mate, that did they kept changing their roles every month? I think it was like it was actually a famous restaurant in the States, but they were like, they literally like every 6 months got to choose like a location.
Oh, yeah, what city in the whole
in the office. Like, they were like all like sitting there going, oh shit, yeah, we all got it, amazing. Like we're all going Europe now. Like it was like madness.
I think it was dev company, some web dev or app dev team.
Madness.
They would take every single employee they were like, look, part of this job is we work remotely, and there's 30 of us, but we're going to choose what city we go to every 6 months. So you can just kind of up and leave and go around the world, which is but all that stuff seemed like a dream to most people, and that's the really kind of interesting bit. The niche that we feel like we suit really well is that if you're there and you're in New York or Texas or wherever you might be, and you're there thinking, well, I'm still on the couch. I'm still sat on my couch in my flat for now 2+ years, looking at my 5 couple of mates in the same situation, thinking about going and seeing the world, but I just can't quite. There's these people like living their best life on Instagram, but it all seems a bit like, well, how do I actually do it? I think that's one of the things we found really fit really well is, do you know what? You can definitely do that, but why not do it with us first? Because at least no matter what, that your basic needs, food, Wi-Fi, new people to meet, a couple of adventures with guaranteed other people who all speak the same language is going to be met. So after your first month, you might extend, you might come on another trip, or you might just feel like, I've learned what I need to now. I now know that I can go into a situation with a bunch of new people. I now know that I can find the local restaurant or meet the local like cool people on the street out here and make my own connections. And it's that little thing of taking someone from what seems quite unachievable or quite scary because there's not something they've thought about to actually, I feel confident enough to go from something like we do to just going to Bali or going to Phuket, turning up and being like, cool, I'll find an Airbnb. It's cool. I'll find an internet cafe and I'll continue to smash my job. And you know, because I made friends on the last trip, I know if I just chat to someone at the 3-day festival that's on next weekend, then I'll you know, I'm going to make connections. Because actually, it turns out all people really want is to make new friends more than anything. You know?
100%. It's all about the people. It sounds cheesy because everyone says it, but it's like 100% traveling. It's who you're with. It's what you're doing. It's the people. It's who you're traveling with, who you're living with. Like that's it, guys. So here it is. It's on your plate. Noma Collective. Check out their Instagram. Check out their website. Yeah, highly recommend it, guys. Why the fuck not? You can work remotely anyway. Do 3 weeks. It's the perfect stepping stone to get a taste of remote work. So do a location that works for you. Follow them on Instagram and all that good stuff. So yeah, I super appreciate you guys for for doing this for the movement and for providing these helping people unlock the world, because that's what it's all about. This world is too special to be sitting in one place your whole life.
100%, man.
True, man. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Come see
sure.
Thailand, man.
Yeah, or maybe
I hope to see you guys
see
fucking somewhere around the world. Who knows? You guys are everywhere, and same with me. Of course, the dream is to continue to travel the world and see as many places as possible. So I'm sure we'll cross paths at some point. Hopefully, send a few subscribers your way. And in the meantime, we'll be in touch on Instagram.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Likewise.
Cool.
Take it easy,
All right.
man.
Enjoy the rest of the day, man. Take care. Thanks, Roddy.
See you guys.
Nice one.